AFC is such a mess right now. I mean, I feel like every week there's a different favorite as far as they go. If I had to pick one right now, it would probably still be the Buffalo Bills, but I don't feel great about it. I think the Baltimore Ravens are a decent team, but it seems like every year Lamar Jackson seems to be figured out in the playoffs. They do everything to stop him, and then there's just not enough elsewhere. And I don't think that defense is as good as they've had in the past. Some of their other teams, the Titans were looking great, but they just keep getting hurt. You lose Derrick Henry, and then you lost Julio Jones. Now you've lost A.J. Brown, and there's just not enough weapons on offense to really keep it going. So, yeah, I think by default at this point I'm going to say Buffalo Bills, but I don't feel great about any team over there right now.
All right, one bold fantasy prediction for the rest of the season, one bold NFL prediction, and a league winner that nobody's going to see coming.
Ooh, I like this. Okay, so one bold fantasy prediction for the rest of the season. Let's go with, if you've listened to Dynasty Nerds at all, you're going to know my feelings on this guy. But this is probably outside of the realm of even possibility. It's so bold. But I am a huge fan of Javonte Williams, the running back for the Denver Broncos. So I'm going to say he ends up taking over the job in Denver and ends up being the top 8 running back for the rest of the season, because they have a soft, like I'm talking like cotton soft, like clouds soft playoff schedule for the rest of the way for running back. So whoever gets the rock there is going to do well. So I'm going to say that. As far as NFL prediction goes, I'm going to say hot take for NFL. Let's say that the Pittsburgh Steelers do not win another game the rest of the season.
Nice.
That team is just hot garbage right now. And then for the league winner, a league winner that no one will see coming. That's an interesting one. Let's go with. You know what? This is a New York based show here, so let's keep it New York. Kadarius Toney breaks out the second half of the season and leads fantasy managers to titles all over the place.
Oh, fake Don't that say one. That because I have him on my team, and you just made me very happy. I picked him up on a whim too. I was just like, all right, let's see what he's got. Oh, wow. Thank you. And then you also – so I got a bet at work, right? These guys bet me that the Steelers would win 9 or plus games. Be above 500, right? Because Tomlin's never had a losing season. So I'm about to make $200. Anyway.
There we go.
Anyway, I know, right? It's the Steelers. So based on what you've seen this far, right? Obviously, there's a bunch of guys. Garoppolo, as we mentioned before. Carson Wentz has had an amazing comeback season that really doesn't get described enough because the Colts did flutter at the beginning of the year.
Totally
Who's
agree.
the guy this year that next year, because I already got his name in my head, next year will have this kind of, oh, okay, he's still got it year?
Ooh. You know what? I might have to go home for this one. I think I'm coming home for this one because everyone hates this guy right now. Like, even in my hometown. But I don't think Baker's as bad as he's getting credit for. Baker Mayfield is crazy injured right now. I mean, his heel is jacked up. He tore his labrum. He's just trying to gut it out, which is
running him out of Cleveland now. So
no, that's stupid. That's why they haven't won anything in 40 years.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. It's frustrating how impatient fans are because as a Cleveland football fan, we haven't had a competent quarterback in my lifetime watching football. You know, I'm 31 years old, right? So the first team that I remember is really the 99 Browns. That was when they came back because I don't remember when they left. I was like 4, you know. So when I was 9 years old when they came back, right? I haven't had a competent quarterback that entire time.
I'm a Jet fan. I don't want to hear it. Stop crying. Okay?
Have you seen the Browns quarterback graveyard? He has a point.
I mean, seriously.
We're in a similar boat. We're in a similar boat because, you know, at least the one you point to is like, well, at least we had Joe Namath, Broadway Joe Namath. Our guy's Bernie Kosar.
Not even a Hall of Famer. I'm sorry. Joe Namath is not even a Hall of Famer. So please don't mention his name, okay? Because I got my own thoughts to it.
I think Baker's a much better quarterback than he's getting credit for. There was a video on YouTube I watched about the similarities between Baker Mayfield and Drew Brees. And it was fascinating how much they have in common. Same type of thing where he got drafted by the Chargers as an undersized quarterback. Baker came in as an undersized quarterback. Both guys had a pretty good rookie year, terrible sophomore campaign. Things were starting to look better. And as things were starting to look better, tore their labrum. Literally, Drew Brees tore his labrum, jacked up his shoulder. That was when they took Phillip Rivers, ended up that switch and all that stuff. So there's a lot of parallels. The same year that
Baker going to the Saints.
Don't make me happy. I'll take Baker in 2 seconds.
The same year that Drew Brees was drafted was the year that they drafted LaDainian Tomlinson in the second round. The year that we took Baker Mayfield, we took Nick Chubb in the second round. There's crazy amount of parallels. All that being said, I don't think he's ever going to be the quarterback Drew Brees is.
No.
Drew Brees is one of the all-time greats.
Yes.
But that being said, I think Baker, there's too much hate for Baker. He's better than people give him credit for.
Well, Garret, we really appreciate you joining us. You are definitely very interesting. We'd love to get you back on again before the playoffs. Speedy, you heard me say that, so let's get Garret on because I'd like to know your thoughts. And we're going to do the playoff picks because I had Tennessee in the beginning of the season. I didn't think Derrick Henry was going to get hurt. I had Tennessee going to the Super Bowl, and I had Green Bay. And I still think Green Bay could get there. I think their defense is really showing everybody. For the first time, I can honestly say Aaron Rodgers has a competent defense. So if that defense actually stays competent, I think Green Bay could go all the way to the Super Bowl and win. I think they have the ability and they have the weapons. Well, he is the weapon that can make the weapons work. So,
Garret, while we're on the topic of preseason Super Bowl picks, I apologize for jinxing your Browns. I had them in the Super Bowl at the start of the year.
Yes, he did.
I had them losing to the Rams.
Yes, he did. By the way, and I told him he was out of his mind, but that was just I didn't. He thought because Cleveland with the acquisitions they made in the
thought they
offseason,
were so deep,
and they were so deep. We've seen this before. We've seen deep teams so many times, and somebody gets hurt, or an important piece gets hurt, or 2 or 3 important pieces get hurt, and it just never works. And I didn't think Cleveland was going to stay healthy this year, and I was right about that. And I still think Cleveland could be a borderline playoff team because the wild card is still open. But that's not saying much with what we've seen in the AFC. So, but I believe that if Cleveland plays Kansas City again in the playoffs, they beat them. Mm-hmm. And I believe that.
Yep.
So, because I really don't think Kansas City is any good.
I picked them last year too, and I almost won.
And by the way, all those Mahomes lovers that love him so much, now that you see that he has a poor certain offensive line in certain areas, there's holes in his offensive line and there's holes in their defense. Now you see what Mahomes could be when he's put under pressure and the team is not stacked. Like every other quarterback. So there's only a few quarterbacks like Tom Brady over the years, the Aaron Rodgers over the years, the Drew Breeses over the years. Even when Ben was at the prime of his career, Ben Roethlisberger too. He hid the deficiencies of his team. So and Peyton Manning, of course. So there are very few quarterbacks that can do that. And I don't think in the AFC there's any quarterback that sticks out to me that's going to hide most of the deficiencies. So that's why I think the AFC is going to be very, very close to the end. Watch out for the Chargers. And I've been saying that for all season long. Chargers get into the playoffs, they're scary good, and they could be scary.
My sleeper for the Super Bowl, if Chargers are yours, mine's the Colts, man. I think the Colts have a good defense.
Yes,
and Jonathan Taylor is a beast. Carson Wentz is underrated.
Yeah,
they could be sneaky.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Imagine Wentz wins his second Super Bowl ring. That'd be crazy.
Well, and finally he wins it for himself. He doesn't have Nick Foles throwing for him.
We'll see. There's no guarantees. He can still get hurt.
Jacob Eason, baby.
Jacob Eason, Super Bowl title. Here he comes.
You know what? People laugh about that, but I think if Jacob Eason ever got a shot to play, he'd be freaking good.
Yes.
He's always had the arm talent. He just was very raw.
There are some good, and like I said, you can't really. quote yourself
Rosen, I'm still waiting to get a fair
on
shot.
guys like with Zach Wilson and some of the quarterbacks that were drafted this year. I think Justin Fields needs a little time. All these quarterbacks are going to need a little bit of time. I think as these quarterbacks grow in their positions and their offenses, you're going to see the difference in them. Because I think this was a very good quarterback class. I really still think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a good quarterback. I still think Zach. I still think Fields. And I've said this, Mac Jones. I've told everybody, being that he was drafted by the New England Patriots, I thought he was going to be successful because Bill Belichick is going to make sure that he's successful. So that's why I think this quarterback, and I was never a Trey Lance fan. You watch, Trey Lance, that was one of the worst trades the San Francisco 49ers can make. They didn't trust in Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that was a big mistake. And going after Trey Lance, who to me was really a flip of a coin, I not having a season last year, it tells me that they were really, and I think Shanahan could be on his way out after next year. So he might make it this year because his buddy Lynch is running the team. But next year, if he does it again from this year and fail the way they have, Trey Lance doesn't turn into anything. Bye-bye, Shanny boy, because I'm not a big fan of Shanahan.
Fantasy football Twitter will rejoice in that case, right, Garrett?
Garrett, I'm
Seems
not
like
a
everybody
Shanahan
hates
fan.
Kyle Shanahan in fantasy football world.
Stop ruining all our running backs.
And Brandon Ayuk.
He's the only coach in history as an offensive coordinator and as a coach in a Super Bowl when everything is working running the ball. All of a sudden, when you have a lead by almost double digits, hey, you know what? 5, 7, 8, or a fourth quarter, I'm going to stop running the ball. I'm going to just throw the ball and give the game away. He did it against the Patriots, and he did it against Kansas City when he should have won that Super Bowl. So that's all I could say about Kyle Shanahan. I think is, to me, one of the most overrated coaches in the NFL. Garrett, thank you for joining us. Tell the fans how they can find you on social media.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Dynasty Price. That's where I spend a majority of my time. Feel free to shoot me a DM, hit me up on there, start sit questions. I answer as many as I can. I miss some at times, but I'll definitely try to connect with you.
Thank you so much, Garrett. We are definitely going to get you on again. Speedy's definitely going to reach out to you. We really appreciate you joining us and giving us a little bit of time. Actually, a lot of time, almost an hour. It was great. It went so fast.
You were on here
Absolutely,
for
I had
an
a
hour?
blast, guys.
He was on for an hour.
I'm
Great.
so sorry.
Oh, he was great.
I enjoyed it. Hey, and you pushed through, my man. It was like Michael Jordan's flu game. You're great.
Oh, you better! I am the Jordan of this show. That's very fitting.
Jordan.
That's very fitting.
He's the Steve Kerr of the
I'm
show.
6-0.
He's the Steve.
I am 6-0.
6-0 to
finals.
what? Yeah, 6-0. 6-0
Yet
of
to
nothing.
lose a debate I even knew I was having.
Debate? He's never won a debate. The guy's an idiot. Okay. Thank you, Garrett,
That's
for
what
joining
a sore
us.
loser would say.
That's all loser. I don't know what I'm losing.